Galapagos, where Darwin goes, the strongest animal, the fastest animal, none of those are the biggest, the best animals, basically the strongest. I'm sorry. The strongest aren't the biggest, fastest, most powerful. The ones that survive are the most adaptable. And you watch the Trump campaign adapt. As soon as they made that trash comment, the very next day he's a trash man with a trash truck. That
Yep.
in Trump colors. And by the way, look, brand spanking fucking new. And it was a perfect thing. And they had the right driver. Everything was perfect. Kamala's campaign seemed to be oblivious as to what was going on. They had sort of their own way. We're going to protect you. We're not going to like let you go say things. We're not going to put you on Rogan, for example. That was a major mistake. Not going on Flagrant, which is all men, like for the most part, and Rogan, which is the biggest black podcast in the world.
100%. 100%.
They just went to black podcasts and were like, look, we have this fake black girl here today to tell you how she's going to pander to you. Here's our VP. Instead of going on and just being a human, because nobody knew who she is. Nobody really knows who she is.
You still don't know.
Still don't know. She just
You
puts
got
on,
that fucking weirdo husband of hers.
apparently crying yesterday during the concession speech.
No. That was the guy that was running for vice president, Tim Walz.
Was crying. Yeah, Waltz was
He
crying.
was fucking no, I was talking about Emhoff. He's a real fucking jewel.
Yeah, but I heard Emhoff, who seems like the biggest dick in the world.
What a douche. You can look at him and tell he's a douche.
It looks like you and I, there's facial structures to the unlikable. He's got like a type of face that you just know is crooked.
You just know he's fucking whatever.
You know you don't want him around you. You know what I mean? Like a
Yeah.
scumbag. So I heard he was crying too. So it was just Waltz. I never saw the video. I just heard the report. So
I didn't hear. And then you had Jimmy Kimmel. You had a whole bunch of anchors crying.
all fake crying. Jimmy Kimmel. How far have you fallen, pussy? So RFK, I thought they overplayed the Roe v. Wade. They lied to the women. It's whatever. They always do. Roe v. Wade was.
Oh yeah, it was all bullshit. It had nothing to do with the president.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the most liberal justice that just passed away a few years ago, was the most ardent anti-Roe v. Wade justice for years because she knew that it was a threat to women's rights, and she spoke about it often. It was for people out there that don't know, Roe v. Wade was all Republican justice opinion. All Republicans voted for it, Democrats did not. Ruth Bader Ginsburg hated it. The reason, and she was right, it made federal law. And if you have federal law made by the courts, that's not their role. They're supposed to interpret. But if you have the courts have that sort of precedence, they can then use that precedence to suppress women. So Ruth was like, you know what? You shouldn't do this. And all these women now are that you should push it to the states so women can vote on it. Women were like, yeah, we don't actually want to think or act or vote on it. We want the government. They're all going, we don't want the government to tell us what to do. We want Roe versus Wade reinstated, where the government tells us what we can do. That's what literally women are going.
Yeah.
I don't want the government involved in my life. Can you reinstate that part where the government is telling me what I can and can do with my biological health? So I've made this point before with a straight face, and I'm going to make it again. Women are very stupid. They're just so fucking stupid. Not all of them, but the ones that fall for this.
Some of them.
This is a fear campaign that's been run for years. In a common, let me back off of Roe, because they're women now. They're probably going, what an asshole. All right, let's pretend you're old, okay? Which you will be, and ugly, which you probably.
Yeah.
All right, since I've been a kid, first election I can remember was Reagan. They were telling old people that Social Security and Medicare was going to be yanked away by Republicans. That's a long time ago. That's over 40 years ago. They are still doing that. In every election since, they've been telling black people that they're going to be back in chains. and that, people are going to do this to them and people are going to do that. So they control the old people with fear through Medicare and Social Security. They control the black people with fear through racism, and they control women with fear through.
Reproductive rights.
And when Obama had the Senate, the Congress, and the presidency, he was the president. He could have codified Roe versus Wade. He could have said, "Hey, we're going to make this federal law." At that point, Supreme Court's irrelevant because the Supreme Court interprets law. So if you codify it, it supersedes anything that happens, and the Supreme Court then has to just rule that yes, this is federal law. Could have made it federal law, did not. I would argue that he did not do it, not because it was just an afterthought. He did not do it because it's very valuable to make stupid women great, because they don't know what's going on. They have no idea. They have no idea they're being manipulated, which is why you get knocked up in the first place, which is why you become a cum receptacle, because you don't know and you fall for men's bullshit. So Obama gave you bullshit.
Good heavens, the language.
I'm not saying anything that you and I don't. I'm not even saying this. I'm just saying what other people have said. I'm just saying that sometimes they just get knocked up. These women that are very like, oh my God, I need to be able to kill my kid. I'm just saying that you might have another option. Maybe that option is, not getting knocked up in the first place. Maybe that option is just, hey, pull out. Maybe it's anal. Maybe it's anal. Maybe it's oral, getting better at that.
Yeah.
I don't know. You've got some options on the table. I'm not going to tell you what they are. I'm just saying anal. I'm just throwing it out there that oral, whatever it is, stop letting them just blow right inside you. You know what I mean? Come up with a system. Be like, hey, this is good for my skin.
Be responsible, for fuck's sake.
Responsible. Get something for your fucking skin. You got fucked up skin. Get it on your face. It's good for you. It makes life. It's got to be good for you. So that was the other part, was Roe versus Wade. The Brett Baer interview we've talked about. Not going on podcast, we've kind of talked about. The Al Smith dinner. I mean, you're going to miss the Catholic dinner, and you're going to send in a bullshit.
That was right after she made that gaffe about fucking, oh, you're at the wrong rally. When they yelled,
No,
Christ is king.
No, you got it wrong.
No, it's not the same one. It was right after. It's an
No.
offense to the Catholic people.
I think we're saying the same thing. So first she goes to the Al Smith dinner, misses it. I'm sorry. First she misses the Catholic dinner. Then immediately after, somebody yells, Christ is king. And she goes, you're at the wrong rally, which the two things combined seemed very anti-Catholic. So the fucking Christ is king part happened the day after the Al Smith dinner. Which
Okay. Right.
it was the day after. So you missed the fucking. There's only been one president who's missed it, and they lost the election, Walter Mondale. You miss it. Trump cooks. He fucking roasts. He stand-up comics. He destroys. She sends some awkward thing where some weirdo lady from Saturday Night Live starts fucking sniffing her own armpits, and like it's so disrespectful. She eats shit, and he cooks, and then the next day she says some anti-Catholic shit. Now, to her, I'm gonna give her a benefit of the doubt. She might not have heard that they were saying Christ is king. She might just, if you're on stage,
and I give her that benefit of that doubt too, because I thought about that.
I can't. That's literally, in my opinion, she did not. She's unlikely to have heard.
I agree with that. But it still hurt her because they were able to run with it.
That was propaganda that's effective because it happened. She probably didn't hear it, and it looked really bad. Especially right after that, missing that dinner, it appeared very anti-Catholic when you put those.
Funny you said that, because I didn't think she heard it either.
I didn't think she heard it. Matter of fact, I put the odds of her actually having heard it at under 5%. You're on stage in a big crowd. People are just yelling out, blah, blah, blah. You're like, yeah, okay. You're at the wrong rally. You can tell they're trouble. You think they're troublemakers. The odds of her having heard that clearly enunciated in a stadium, of like 2, 3, 5,000 people, pretty fucking low. Pretty low. Yeah. So, but either way, it was an effective layer of bullshit. You know what she should have said? I didn't hear what they were saying. Instead, they ran out with, that's not what they said. Their first reaction was to lie and say that those people just yelled out something that they didn't say. What she should have said is, hey, I just saw the video of what they said with Christ is King, and Christ is King. I had no idea what they were saying.
Just like J.D. Vance did when they said Christ is King.
He would have crushed that out of the box and actually.
Well, he did. He did. He said, you're right. Christ is King.
He did. She should have said, hey, I didn't, the video you saw of me saying, hey, you're at the wrong rally, I didn't hear what they said. I thought they were saying, this. So yeah, Christ is King. If she just said that, home run. Instead, they went out and said they were yelling something that they weren't yelling because there was better audio that showed that they clearly yelled, Jesus is Lord, Christ is King. So they lied. They got caught. So that looked really bad because the cover up is always worse than the crime. You know what I mean?
Who the fuck is teaching these people to lie?
It's their first reaction is like, hey, what you just did, let's just fucking lie about it. Never fucking lie. Oh, so what?
It's so obvious. They got no. It's too fucking. They're not good liars. There used to be good liars.
They're terrible liars now. They just gaslight you. They're like, the border is fine. I come from a middle class family. That's your lie now, is you're going to avoid the question by, you know what I mean? They're bad at it. There's an art to lying. And quite frankly, when Bill Clinton used to lie, I knew he was lying. I would assume everybody knew he was lying.
Tell me more, Bill. Tell me more, baby. Give me some more lies.
He was so good at it that I wasn't even pissed. I was mesmerized.
Yep.
It was like watching an Eddie Murphy skit about Wasn't Me. It was like real life Wasn't Me of this guy that's capable of looking you right in the eye and telling you the fucking most brilliant lie. And you're like, wow, I wish I could lie like that. Holy shit, that guy. It's so fucking well.
I think I'm in love.
If I could lie like that, I think I could hit my full potential. The sky's the limit.